Hey everybody, Jim and Roth here to talk about the big news that the Jump Street and Men in Black crossover is actually happening. We first heard about it when the Sony leak was going on. But not only that, but there's a Jump Street spinoff as well. Roth, why don't you tell the folks in a nutshell, basically, what's going on?
Well, here's what we know so far. So yes, there is going to be a crossover between Men in Black and 21 Jump Street. Essentially, so it's going to be Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill are going to be becoming Men in Black,
right,
or infiltrating. I'm kind of hoping they infiltrate. By the way, I'm just totally making that part up. I'm fan-ficking this part of it. I want it to be 23 Men in Black. That's the title of the movie.
That actually would be a great title.
Miller and Lord, who are of course the genius directors and writers behind the first two 21 Jump Street movies, are going to be overseeing that sort of journey, and instead of it being a play on sequels like 22 Jump Street was, it's going to be a play on shared universes, which I think sounds hilarious.
It does sound great, and it's also, you know, because it's a Sony movie and Sony's trying to set up their own shared universe now with Marvel, I think there's definitely some room there for poking fun at that. But not only do we have a Men in Black Jump Street melding of the universes.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Tell the folks.
So in order to also maintain sort of the integrity of the Jump Street universe, which is Undercover Cops, there's going to be a spin-off featuring ladies in the lead. Some people are talking about Dakota Johnson who was of course the lead in 50 Shades of Grey, played a role in the first the first Jump Street movie. She was another cop. She and her teammate kind of like threw shade at these two constantly, and that's what they did. Talking about her coming back, who I would love to see come back is Jillian Bell, who played Mercedes, who was kind of the bad girl, baddie, the daughter of the big bad in 22 Jump Street, and she is hilarious.
Now the folks behind the Jump Street spinoff are the duo behind Broad City, and I'll admit I'm not familiar with that series, but it's basically a Comedy Central team, and the Rap article that was the source of this news is saying that some of the talent from Comedy Central could end up in the Jump Street spinoff. Basically, the premise I want to throw at you is, do you think, can Jump Street save Men in Black? Because Men in Black, even though it's been financially successful, there's no real appetite for it anymore. But it is a franchise, it's a brand, and every studio wants the brands. And Jump Street is a brand now, and it's been very successful. So do you think that Jump Street, especially with Lord and Miller involved, can save Men in Black?
Well, that's the key. For me, that's always been the key, is that I hate to sound so fangirly about them, but I kind of am. And I really,
about Lord and Miller?
About Lord and Miller. And I really believe in their ability to take an idea that sounds terrible on paper and make it sing and really make it work. I really thought that the original 21 Jump Street movie sounded like a terrible idea, and I had no idea how it was going to work, and I loved it.
Even Lego movies sounded like, how do you do that?
How do you do that? And they find a way. And so I think that maybe people are trying to figure out what this tone would be, but I think the angle of sort of making fun of shared universes, they can do that. We've seen them do that. They made fun of doing a movie reboot of a TV show from the 80s. They made fun of doing a sequel. Now they're going to make fun of themselves as they share these universes.
To me, it almost seems kind of like Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein or whatever, those old movies. My bigger question, though, is because the Jump Street movies had very edgy comedy to them. Men in Black is a more PG-13 and family-friendly franchise, and it sells merchandise, it sells toys and action figures. So how do you kind of marry what made Jump Street work, which was that edgy and frankly sometimes raunchy, bond between these guys and how they deal with things, with something that is there to, how do you keep the Men in Black franchise what it was and move that merch, but not also tarnish or damage Jump Street.
Yeah, I don't know that I mean, listen, these are the guys, they come from animation.
Yeah.
Lego Movie is an animated movie that's a family movie. They can certainly do comedy that appeals to all of the quadrants.
Yeah.
You know, the adults and kids. And
they did Claudia with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah,
So yeah.
They're really adept actually at that. So if anybody can do it, I think that they can do it. I don't think that we'll entirely lose the raunchiness because there's no way. I mean, these guys can't be controlled, I don't think, entirely, you know?
Although I bet you it's going to be a great unrated Blu-ray of this
right?
one.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'll have to wait for the extras. But,
Yeah.
but overall, you're going to give this a thumbs up. You think this crossover could work?
I do. With this creative team, I think it could work. And again, I can understand how somebody just looking at this on the surface goes, "This is ridiculous, money grab," which obviously it is.
Yeah.
Everything's a money grab. It's Hollywood, you know.
Yeah.
But I do think that it can work and surprise us in how funny it is.
I mean, I want to see the Jump Street guys join Men in Black. I think it sounds like a great idea.
Do you want to see Will Smith involved or Tommy Lee
actually, I
Jones?
want to see a complete break. I mean, I think it would, although I don't know. Look, if you're going to make fun of shared universes and all that, I could see Will Smith showing up in a cameo. But would his ego kind of allow that? I mean, this was his baby. He was the face of that franchise. I think it'd be even funnier if you could get Mr. Sourpuss Tommy Lee Jones to show up. That actually I would pay to see.
Then you just hire Grumpy Cat to step in for him.
Exactly.
Or Josh Brolin, who played the younger...
Josh Brolin would do it.
He time travels into the future. There's nothing they can't do.
Yeah. Now, as far as the female-led Jump Street spinoff, though, too, I think like any comedy sequel, it really will depend on the talent involved. Any particular funny actresses you'd like to see kind of come to the fore in that series? I was thinking maybe Aubrey Plaza. You know, I kind of like her, but is she maybe
Speaking
a little
of Grumpy
too?
Cat, the person.
Yeah, maybe she's a little bit too low-key or acerbic, but I don't know.
Maybe. I love her. There is certainly like a kinetic energy to the kind of comedy that Jump Street does.
Yeah.
This franchise. We don't know if that would be different. I, again, like in my fanficking of this particular movie, it's Jillian Bell comes back as Mercedes, who is a criminal. So how this is going to work is going to be tricky. But she somehow has a redemptive arc.
Maybe she has to go undercover.
Yeah, she has to go undercover. She has she makes a deal, you know, in order to get her sentence reduced or to get off, and she has to go undercover. And you know, it's funny, as much as people
We're writing your movie, Lord and Miller.
may have a problem with 50 Shades of Grey, which is fine. I do think that Dakota Johnson is funny.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't mind her having to be the one assigned to like monitor Jillian Bell.
She has to play like the straight man to all the goofy characters. Okay.
Literally writing the entire movie that is probably not going to happen.
All right, guys. Well, we want to know what you think about Jump Street and Men in Black crossing over. Does that excite you for Men in Black again? Do you think Jump Street can save Men in Black? For all things on movies, keep it here on IGN.